Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer, and today is Thursday, and Thursday is PYOW! PYOW stands for PYOW, Premier Yarn of the Week. Every week I explain this and every week people are still confused. What is PYOW? PYOW. So, I come to you on Thursdays. I show you what is available on the Premier Yarns website. Number one, because I love Premier Yarns. They are my favorite yarn of all time, hands down. And I'm looking in my little thing over there at some of my yarns that I currently have, but I also have a beautiful selection on my desk. Now, I'm a little bit upset because the yarn that I'm going to show you today, I have showed in the past, and I have made some beautiful objects with it, and I can't find anything except this. So, and that's mine. Which means the things that I made for Little Man and Mr. Cinnamon have disappeared. I don't know if that means that they're in Mr. Cinnamon's vehicle, which is quite possible. I don't know. But I cannot find them. They are not in with the hats and the scarves. And I know it's August. We're nowhere near winter weather. But I figured this yarn is a DK weight, so it's lightweight. It's a beautiful, soft, luscious yarn, and it makes beautiful, beautiful scarves, hats, and fingerless gloves, or full-on mittens. I know, because I've made all of the above with this yarn. Now, when this yarn was released, I'm just going to tell you, it's Premier Nordica, okay? We'll talk more about the yarn in a minute. When this yarn was released, there was a lot of, what is the word? There was a lot of, like, I don't know. The community was a little bit upset about this yarn because at the time I was showing this yarn, I fell in love with this yarn, and people were confused because this yarn is mostly being marketed as a knit-only yarn. And the reason that is because it's a self-patterning yarn. But we know from experience on this channel, you can use a self-patterning yarn in crochet if you keep in mind some rules. And I know we don't like rules, but I'm going to say this. This yarn is very similar to the Bloom yarn that we showed last week. And you can make beautiful things with crochet if you just use a simple stitch. I'm in love with this yarn. I have been in love with this yarn since the first day I saw it. I actually have quite a few of the colors. There are 11 colors listed on Premier's website. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colorways on my desk. I also have had the black and gray colorway of it, which is called Harbor Gray. And I would have an example of that, but that's what I made Mr. Cinnamon and Little Man's matching hats out of. And I also made him a really nice scarf, and I don't know where he put them. So I have had the Harbor Gray, which is a beautiful black gray yarn. And it makes a beautiful pattern. It is one of the very few black gray yarns that I've loved working with. I don't have it because I did use it all. I used it all, and I'm very happy with that. So, okay, now this yarn. Let me just pull this one up. Premier Nordica, 100% anti-pilling acrylic. And when Premier says anti-pilling acrylic on their label, you are going to guarantee that this yarn is soft. It is smooth, or it's not fuzzy, it's not prickly, it's not woolly in any way. It is just smooth. And sometimes it's a little bit slick depending on what hooks you're using and what design you're doing. As you can see, I have worked up apparently I worked up a sample probably in another video. And this yarn is it has beautiful stitch definition. I'm going to show you my sample first, and then I'll show you the scarf I made for myself. It has beautiful color. It is soft. It is luxurious to work with. Let's see. It says this. Now, it's a little on the pricey side. because it is one of the ones that's over $5 a ball. And I know that I get a lot of complaints when I show yarn that's over $5 a ball. However, this is, I don't think it's expensive for what you're getting. I gladly paid this. It's $8.99. However, it is 546 yards. And I made an entire scarf out of one ball very easily. And it's gorgeous. So I said it's anti-pilling, which anti-pilling means you can wash it and dry it and it's not going to fuzz up, pill up. This is like 2 years old and it looks like I just made it, and this is my go-to scarf. This has been tossed around in the closet. I actually found it balled up on the floor underneath my china cabinet. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why it's there. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I have a basket that has all of the hats and the scarves and stuff for winter. And last winter, I put that next to the china cabinet and it got knocked over, stepped on, laid on by the dogs. And some of the hats and scarves and stuff ended up under the china cabinet. But it's hard for me to get on and off the floor because knees and I'm heavy and all that stuff. So it was under the china cabinet. And it still looks this beautiful. So that says a lot for the yarn. It's absolutely stunning. And what I love, my favorite part about this, is it makes me feel like a magician. Now I take my little magic wand, which my crochet hook looks like a magic wand, and I just do a little magic. Poof! I got beautiful, beautiful, beautiful product done. I like this because of the self-patterning. And from the first time I played with this yarn, like, you guys know, my brain cannot handle monotony. So I cannot make projects that are all one color, which is why when you see stuff that I've made, it is colored. It is wildly colorful because my brain starts to get really stressed out when I'm doing all one color. I hate the project when it's all one color. So I love self-patterning yarns because I can crochet along and then bam, oh, there's another color, or bam, there's another color. This lights my brain on fire. It just does. So this is my scarf. This is made out of one skein and it's beautiful. And the reason I love it is because of the patterns. Now this one is the Colorway Thistle. Absolutely beautiful. It is these rich colors of like a dusty pink with like, I don't even know what you would call this color. It's like a dark, it's not quite maroon or mauve, but it's somewhere in between. Let me turn my light down. It's just, it's beautiful. And this is what it looks like knit. And this is what it looks like crocheted. So, if you don't like busy yarn, you might not like this yarn. Personally, I think this is the coolest yarn ever. And depending on stitch count for how wide the project is, the design will change. So it is a cool effect. It is a cool effect. So when you have the darker spot, there is much more fragments or pixelation in the design, and it gives you like a Fair Isle look without actually having to do any of the Fair Isle work. And then you'll get some solid of the darker color and some solid of the lighter color, and then it'll go into like a speckly look, and then you'll get 2 rows of a more dense speckly look. And then it will repeat. And I just think this is the cool, and this is single crochet. This is all crochet. This is not knit. It looks just as cool in knit. It really does. And if you're knitting, you will get a bigger project because you'll have more yarn to work with, because crochet takes 30% more of your yarn than knit does. But when this came out, there was all kinds of controversy. Like, why do they keep releasing yarn that's for knitters only? And I was one of them. I was like, why? Like, and then I was like, okay, there has to be a way I can work with this yarn that is in crochet. And I came and I brought it home and I played with it and I played with it. And I was like, single crochet works best. half double crochet works good. Double crochet, I actually made a bandana style cowl out of this yarn, which was made out of granny stitches. And while you didn't get this effect, it was a very like, and I used it with the leftover black and gray that I had, and I wish I still had that. I don't know what I did with it. It was a very cool speckly effect, and it kind of had the look of a hand-dyed heavy speckled yarn, but like in only a few colors. So let me show you some of the colors that they have, because this yarn is cool. Just keep in mind, if you're going to use this yarn, and you can absolutely do big stitches. You can do trebles and you can do double crochets. You will just get more of a broken look, not so much of this patterning, but I really love the patterning. I highly suggest playing with this in single crochet. A simple single crochet scarf or a single crochet hat is absolutely stunning in this yarn. Absolutely stunning. If I can find some pictures, which I'm not sure that I have them, I will pop them up through this video so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about, since I have no idea where they put their hats. I have also made a knit hat out of this, and it is beautiful, but I love that this yarn was very specifically designed for knitters, but I was able to make it look absolutely stunning in the single crochet stitch. I just love it. So this color I told you is Thistle. And then they have this color, which is, it's more towards the browns and the yellows and the golds. This color is Rose Linen, and it is like gold, like different types of gold. So there's gold and brass and white. And this is what it looks like in knit, which you can see is not that much different in single crochet. It's just, it's cool. It's cool. Now, to make the sweater looks beautiful. The sweater's a cool pattern, but you have to do some serious color control. I'm not into that. So I keep it simple with the scarves, the hats. Fingerless mitts is gorgeous in this yarn. And because it's anti-pilling acrylic, it's going to last you forever. Which is evident by this thing that has been tossed around and mistreated. So that's the, what I say, Rose Linen. It's more gold. Then I have this color, and I actually have a love-hate relationship with this color because it's, I don't know. I couldn't resist buying it because it's so bold, but I also don't like the color at all. And so I'm like, do I love it? Do I hate it? I don't know. But this is like gold and black. I want to play with it. I probably will play with this. But it's funky, but it's, I don't know, the colors are so, it's just like, it's one of those things that lights my brain on fire. This is the color Ochre Gray, which, that's not really gray at all, it's more black. But it's so pretty and so ugly at the same time. And I don't know, it's a face only a mother could love type thing. I don't know. The rest of these colors are absolutely stunning though, but that one is one of the ones where I don't know if I like it or I hate it. This color is Spearmint, and I have 2 more balls of this because I was so in love with this. And it's like, I don't know. It's like a tealy green and a slate blue almost. Not even tealy. I don't know. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. And did I tell you guys these are soft? Because they're so soft. And this one, apparently I made something out of it because there's yarn missing. And I wrapped it around the outside, which I usually do when I've worked with it. This is the color Ice Blue. I think I made a hat out of this for Little Man. Because when I made the single crochet, this is the only thing with single crochet. When you make the single crochet hats, you have to make sure they fit, because single crochet does not have a lot of give in it. And so if it's too small, it's always going to be too small. But work on the side of a little bit bigger, because I believe I made Little Man a hat out of this because his eyes are crystal blue, as are Jujus, and I believe that it didn't fit him very good. But this is beautiful colors. This is, put it next to the green, the Spearmint green, so you get an idea of the colors. It's beautiful blues and white. It's just, it's so pretty. Ice blue. This color blue is almost like a purpley blue. The reason I'm putting the green up there so you get a better idea of, my camera will read the colors a little bit better. And then I have these that I've had in there and I've not ever opened them. And I don't know why. These are the newer colors. When this yarn first came out, there was a lot less colors. And then they're like, oh, hey, wait a minute. We're going to release some new colors. And this was one of them. And this purple was one of them. I actually think all of these were the new colors, but the new colors were like a year, 2 years ago. This yarn's been on the market for quite a while. I will also link either below or at the end of the video when there's those little squares at the end of the thank you for watching screen. I will, my voice went really high there. I will put the video where I originally unboxed these or where I showed this yarn in the past. I think I worked up a swatch. And I may or may not have shown how to work up this. So this one is the color Tea Rose. And this is more like a taupe with that beautiful rose color. It's so pretty. And that's what the coloring looks like. It's so pretty. I'm not big on browns of any shade. I don't like working with browns, says the woman who just went and bought brown yarn. The taupe with the rose color is so pretty though. Like, I don't buy just taupe yarn. Taupe to me is taupe, beige. They're like the worst of the worst because they're so dull and boring and they just don't do to my brain what this yarn does. But this yarn makes me really, really happy. So there's the taupe with the rose, which is called Tea Rose. Tea Rose, which is so fitting for this channel. And then we have Country Blue, which is that same taupey color, but there's this beautiful, let's see if we can open the skate a little bit, beautiful blue. Absolutely stunning worked up. Just beautiful. And the reason I have so much of this yarn is because I love a lot of times my brain gets overwhelmed with just life and just stress and like work and kids and all the things that I need to do during the day. So sometimes I just need a project where I don't really have to think. And I still want to make beautiful things. I don't want to make something simple and like bland because that's not me. So when I work up something like this, it's just single crochet, so it's easy, it's mindless. I might have to count the stitches, but I don't really have to think because it's just single crochet and it still looks so fancy. It looks like I put so much extra work into it that I just didn't. And I think that's why I love this yarn so much. It's because I don't have to think. I can just do, and this is Wisteria. This is probably one of my favorite colorways of this yarn because the purples are so beautiful. And the darker color is, I don't know if it's a slate gray. It's kind of looking gray, but it's not as dark as what they're saying is gray here. See how this is much darker? But it's beautiful. And the gray has the ever slightest bluish tint to it, so that's what I'm calling it, slate gray. It's just beautiful. It's so pretty. And that purple is beautiful. It's so soft. This is such a nice yarn, guys. But yeah, 546 yards for $8.99, and it's anti-pilling acrylic. So I look at it this way. If you're willing to buy a beautiful scarf at the store for like $25, why aren't you willing to spend $8.99 on a yarn that will make you a beautiful scarf? And you know this is going to last forever because you made it, and because it's anti-pilling acrylic, and it's beautiful. And this makes, I'm telling you, this makes the cutest hats. This stripe, actually, when you're making a hat, because you're working in the round, gets thinner. So it's really like that thick all the way around your hat, and there's like more stripes because obviously you're elongating that stripe. So it's just, it's such a pretty yarn. It's such a pretty yarn, and I've been looking at this yarn for a couple weeks now, because every week I'm like, okay, well, what can I feature for Premier Yarn of the Week? And then I have to go back through because I don't remember what yarns I showed for Premier Yarn of the Week because I was really bad about putting it in the playlist. But I went through today and I actually added all the PYOWs to the playlist. And I went through my entire bucket that I pulled out. I made an entire bucket when I started PYOW, and I was like, okay, these are the yarns that I have that are Premier Yarns. These are the yarns that I'm going to feature, and I didn't put Nordica in there, and I didn't put the Bloom in there, and there's a couple other yarns I didn't put in there because I have a stockpile. So this isn't all going to fit in my little bucket. It's not gonna. And besides, I have more than this because I have multiples of this. No. I have multiples of this one because I wanted to make something bigger, and I think I caught a sale or something, and I got 3 of these, I think, but it didn't fit in my bucket. I have gone through my entire bucket. I went through all the Premier Yarns yarn that I wanted to show you guys when I started PYOW, and so now I'm like digging through stash, and I'm like, okay, well, what else do I got in there? And I might have to order more yarns because I'm running out of PYOW to show you. The yarns that I do have that are Premier Yarns that are left are discontinued yarns, or yarns that I've already showed a lot on the channel. So, but it's still a lot of fun, like digging through my yarn and be like, hey, which is why I have buckets over here that I was digging through. Because there was an amazing sale, and I was like, oh, I can show this yarn because it's on a really good sale, and the sale ends on the morning that this video is going to air. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't do that because I'm going to make everybody mad if I do that. So, yeah. This yarn does go on sale frequently, though, too, for like 20% off. But it's a really good yarn. It's really... And sometimes when you make stuff out of acrylic, it gets really hot. Or, it like, when you sweat, it like irritates your skin. And that may happen for some people even with this yarn. But the anti-pilling acrylic, because it has such a, I don't want to say slick, because it's nowhere near as slippery as some other yarns on the market. But it's smooth. It doesn't tend to irritate my skin if I get overheated. And it doesn't tend to overheat me as quickly as other acrylic yarns, because it's anti-pilling and it's like that amazing, beautiful quality of yarn. That's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah, so that's another reason I really like it. This is one of the very few projects that I have put fringe on, and I don't even remember what this yarn is, but this yarn is not good quality yarn. Like, this is not, it's not anti-pilling acrylic, which I don't know what yarn I use, probably whatever I had scraps of. It's pretty though. So yeah, check out Nordica. Thank you for watching. Also, thank you to Premier. They sent me a little gift. They replaced my coffee mug that my family destroyed, which I was really excited for, and they replaced my water bottle that was broken. And so I just want to say thank you. You know who you are. I got the package the other day. There was actually a 3rd coffee cup in there too. Well, a 3rd. There was the water bottle and my big coffee cup, which will be featured on Tuesday Tea next week if I can remember. And there was a 3rd cup that was really cool, but it was shattered, which happens frequently. It seems to be all my mail. I get stuff broken. There's been more times than I can count that my stuff gets broken. Like everybody else in the house will order stuff. It's like, no, it comes to them just fine. And even my Christmas gifts from Chris's grandma has come broken a couple times. It's just it's the luck of the draw. But I was so happy because Juju went out on the porch and she got my box and she's all, it's from so-and-so. And I was like, well, that's Premier Yarns. She's all, it sounds broken. And she's shaking it. And I was like, I could hear whatever was in there was broken. And I was really happy to see 2 things were in pristine condition and the 3rd thing was broken. So thank you so much to Premier Yarns for sending me that gift. I truly, truly appreciate it. It was a thank you for all the work I do for Premier, but honestly, this is the funnest part of my job, is just playing with yarn. I love playing with yarn. I love experimenting, and I love that I can figure out ways to make this work for construction. crochet and knitting. And I like that I was able to do that, because everyone else was confused by this yarn when it first came out. They were like, I don't know what to do with this. It's too busy. It's too this, it's too that. And I was like, I know exactly what to do with that yarn. And I've made so many things out of this yarn, because I feel like a magician working with this yarn. I like it. So with all of that, I'm going to let you go. And once again, thank you for tuning in and watching my PYOW video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.